Bitcoin has broken out of a mold that it has been stuck in for the past 5 months. That's right, the same bearish mold that has dragged Bitcoin from $100,000 down to 74. However, this time things have changed. And if you are not locked in, you are about to be left in the dust. Here's what I'm seeing. Bitcoin on the 4-day time frame has finally managed to reclaim the 10 simple moving average, the same 10 simple moving average that it has been holding as resistance since the breakdown here at $100,000. Notice, every single attempt of trying to reclaim it was rejected by the bears. Bitcoin had very similar price action across the 4-day 10 simple moving average right here on the consolidation of $25,000. The bulls struggled to reclaim it on every attempt until this break right here, after which every single 4-day candle closed over the 10 simple moving average, thus flipping it into support. And that's essentially when that next crazy move up to $70,000 took place. That's when Bitcoin actually reached all-time high before halving, something it had never done before. Now, some of the targets I'm seeing on Bitcoin's chart are jaw-droppingly insane, particularly driven by some of these crazy macro reversal patterns like the massive cup and handle pattern that a lot of people have actually spotted out. Now, we will be going over the measured move of the pattern at the end of the video, so make sure you're sticking around for that. Now, yes, the 40 is just one part of the technicals. All this while Bitcoin's weekly oscillators are still hovering at the bearish control zone. Now, if we look at the data points throughout this entire bull run, from when Bitcoin was at $15,000 all the way up to $100,000, every single time the Stokes got down to the bearish control zone, as well as the RSI hit the 50 percentile threshold, that's what signaled the next markup in price action. The first time around, Bitcoin went from $30,000 up to $70,000. The second time, Bitcoin went from 70K all the way up to $100,000. In addition to that, Bitcoin has actually managed to take out the range high through this entire consolidation at $70,000. It looks minuscule on my chart, but it has indeed gone to put in a brand new high on this range. Now, in addition to that, Bitcoin on the Mango dashboard, we have long signals across the 4-hour time frame and the daily time frame. Now, the 12-hour has often been our barometer in helping us understand when is it a good time to get bullish on Bitcoin. Not only is the 12-hour signaling long, telling us that hey, the bulls have the edge here, the bulls are also seeing follow through on that trend chain. So if you manage to catch that, you're up a good 5.67%. But in addition to that, and more importantly, the volatility, guys, 24. That's a clean, hard reset, telling me that the bulls still have a lot more juice to take this up and really hit the throttle on this, with potential bullish divergence on the 12-hour time frame. And this is all while fear and greed is still hovering at neutral. People are still apprehensive and really wondering whether or not these markets can turn. There's still a lot of uncertainty in the space, which means that yes, while the tide is turning, there are still going to be opportunities for you to actually take advantage of. Now, while the 4-day time frame looks absolutely spectacular across the 10 simple moving average, we do have 4-day dynamic resistance swinging in right over, which is giving me pause in that we could look for a potential pullback on the 4-day time frame, perhaps to the 10 simple moving average, and then look for the next move to the upside. However, this next pullback, setting in the higher low, is going to be a sweet trade opportunity. Now, not only is that going to be a bid on the 4-day 10 simple moving average, it's also going to be a bid that's super close to the bi-weekly dynamic, which has been one of our major bull run indicators that's kept us on the right side of this entire run so far, irrespective of all the tariff FUD, irrespective of the TradFi meltdowns. The bi-weekly dynamic kept us on the right side of the cycle, and not just this cycle, but across cycles, guys. Needless to say, if there's ever an event that is driving you to trade emotionally, start falling back onto your objective indicators. Because I bet you go back into the history of any chart, you're going to find events everywhere. But if I had to ask you to plot out the event on the chart, you're not going to be able to do it. But irrespective of the event, price always stay true to your objective indicators, so always fall back onto them. Now, you could have something else entirely. I, for one, have the Mango dynamic, and right now this bid on the 40 10 simple moving average comes very close to the bi-weekly dynamic. Now, for those of you looking to capitalize on this next higher low trade on a Bitcoin, but you're still on the hunt for a good exchange, then definitely check out the link in the description below to BitUnix, where they are giving you free deposit bonuses. Guys, this is free money at the corner of the room for every $1,000 1,000 you put in, you're getting $200 back, which means if you put in 2,000, you get 400 back. You can use all of this money to put on new trades, to practice your leverage trading with it, or even to buffer against losses. Now, this is going to be valid until the end of the month, so make sure to take advantage of it. Target of this massive cup and handle is explosive, and the reversal that we're seeing right here could very well be the reversal that actually leads us into this explosive target. The measured move takes Bitcoin all the way up to $328,000. Now, yes, 300K is definitely on the higher side of the target spectrum, but I actually presented an entire target system for you using other various systems that I posted on the premium video section right here on the Mango dashboard. So if you guys haven't already checked that out, make sure to do so. But I'll say this, 300K was also part of that system. Now, besides all the technicals on Bitcoin, I want you guys to start looking at the dollar's strength. The dollar's strength right now is falling. In fact, it actually broke down from a critical region of support at 101. Now, guys, this is actually really good for global liquidity conditions. Every time the dollar strength falls, it gives other nations more room to print money. And a lot of them right now are looking for an excuse to print. This just gave them that excuse. In fact, the last time the dollar strength tipped over the edge, that marked Bitcoin's 15K reversal. In fact, if we go ahead and mark out every key inflection point where the dollar's strength unraveled, you'll find that historically, that actually marked Bitcoin's next bullish impulsive move. On the first Dixie downturn of 2013, Bitcoin actually rallied 1,638% to the upside. On the second Dixie downturn of 2015, Bitcoin actually ended up rallying 200% all the way up to $1,200. On the third Dixie downturn of 2017, Bitcoin rallied all the way up to $20,000. That was an explosive move, yielding Bitcoin holders 1,600% in gains. On the fourth downturn of 2020, that was us getting out of COVID, while the dollar strength was melting down, Bitcoin actually rallied all the way up to $60,000 per BTC, which was a good 520% to the upside. Now, on the fifth downturn, it was this bull market back in October of 2022, where as the dollar strength fell, Bitcoin actually reversed from $15,000, making its way up to $100,000. So far, it's been a good 400% from the bottom. Now, since that inflection point, this is the next major one that we're getting in right now, where we finally broken support at 101. While Bitcoin is not only holding its bull run cyclical supports, but it is also now breaking resistance to the upside, which is what's giving me pause in that this bounce should be taken seriously. And all of this while global liquidity has finally broken out. Suffice to say, the stars have aligned for the next explosive move to the upside. Now is the time to be locking in. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the likes. If you're looking to maximize your chances of actually capturing the next best profitable trade in the market and you do not know where to begin, well then check out the Mango Seed program. That's where I began, that's where many others have begun. And it has not only helped us sift out some crazy trades out there, but it has also kept us sane and objective throughout the chaos. Every Thursday is a Seed Mastermind call, so for those of you in the Mango Seed program, make sure to be there for the alpha. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the likes. I will now see you in the Discord chat, where this trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the Mango way, trade the easy way. Ciao, you guys.